You just press play on the Last Breath HuntCast, home of the Huntroversy. We're here to entertain, educate, and engage. And in case you didn't know, you only live once. But if you do it right, once is enough. Don't waste it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode number 98 of the Last Breath HuntCast, home of the Huntroversy. And that is what we are coming at you with today, is a brand new controversial topic. And remember, this is the home of the Huntroversy. This is going to be an episode that maybe we agree to disagree on. This is going to be potentially a thought-provoking episode in which there could be topics that we talk about that could get a little heated. So thank you for tuning in. We really enjoy doing these style of episodes. A reminder that this podcast is presented by Badlands Gear. You can check them out at badlandsgear.com. And I am here today with Garrett. Garrett, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
And how you doing today? Doing okay?
I'm doing good.
We just got a lot of stuff done.
We did. I was sweating like a whore in church earlier running that chainsaw, man. We're still working on that bedding project. If you guys have been following along either our Last Breath Lives or the Inner Circle or even some of the podcasts we've done in the past, we're talking about this new bedding area that we're installing. And Chad Kemper came out and did a fantastic job for us, but there were some trees that were just too hefty for his drum, and they had to be taken down the old-fashioned way. You know, Grant and I were talking, it's pretty amazing. I don't know, there's probably, 30, 35 trees still standing in this area. And, I mean, it's work, even with a chainsaw and a tractor. Not to cut them up, just to fall them, cut the stump off, and get them out of the way. And we were like, dude, if he wouldn't have came in here, where do you even start, you know?
Yeah.
Pretty much Chad came and whacked everything that was juvenile and immature and all the underbrush out of the way, so we actually had room to work. And, I mean, it doesn't help. It's about 80% humidity in Illinois. Mm-hmm. We've had rain like 7 out of the last 10 days. But regardless, we're one step closer. We're almost finished with it. I'm excited to hopefully see what that can do. And it'd be really rewarding if we can pick up a shed or if we can get a deer that we want to kill to kind of call that home this year.
Yeah, that's the goal.
So but other than that, I will say this is home of the Huntroversy, and there's only one thing that sells better than controversy, and that is sex. So we
are going to have sex today.
Yeah, so this is a good one. We're doing it with a really good friend of ours. He actually came up with the idea, and it is edgy. I mean, straight up and to the front and right to the point. I mean, this one is not kind of one of those beat-around-the-bush controversies, I don't think. I think it's going to be a little pointed, and I think it's going to be – the message is going to be good. I think I totally understand what Mike was coming at when he approached me with this idea. But, I mean, he's hitting it on the head. And Mike Lemansky, the All-American Badass, is not one to mince words.
Nope, no, he's not.
So I don't know. I guess if you're listening to this, tighten up your belt buckle, hold on, and I'm sure you'll have an opinion by the end of it.
All right. Before we call Mike, just a reminder that if you're listening to our podcast, you can check out a new one every morning at 6. The Whitetail Legacy podcast, you can check that on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. And our topic today, what is our topic?
Before we get there, speaking of Whitetail Legacy, I was talking with Cody today, and so I'm gonna go on a little side tangent here, but it's gonna just amplify the mood. Okay, so they hunt this property that is almost all CRP or set aside. It's in some type of governmental program, right?
Yep.
They have the ability to plant food plots in there, which they're excited to put them in. No issues, hiccups whatsoever. But there cannot be any farm equipment on the property, according to this program that the landowner has it in, right? So Cody and Homie have a wagon blind that it looks like a blind, but it's on a wagon running gear with a wagon bottom. Like many people do, they retrofit it with a top and windows and door and everything. I guess somebody from Illinois, from this department, went out and walked their property to make sure it was abiding by the regulations, which the land was, but they said that their wagon blind was a piece of farm equipment and it had to be removed within 14 days. And I'm like,
that's ridiculous.
Are you fucking kidding me? What ignorant, ho-chum, dumbass state worker with a gravy pension and a fucking foo-foo magoo job thinks that this is a piece of farm equipment? It is a deer blind. Can you please tell me where? Yeah, we just like to keep our corn in this blind here with windows, and see, instead of using the door at the bottom, we just crack a window and let the corn run out. I mean, come on. That was just a blatant piece of crap move that's infuriating. Like, that is somebody who's either anti-hunting or who is jealous of the blind, something along those lines. It's like, you know what?
I'm going to make their lives suck.
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Yeah, and Cody and Homie live both in pretty urban settings. You know, they're not like sandwiched into metropolis area, but it's a small town, right? They don't have big yards. They're like, now we got to find a place to put this. They made the blind for that property.
Yep.
And, you know, so, and then they had to haul it out of there today. Obviously, they got to stay in good graces with the landowner, and it's not the landowner's fault.
No.
Oh, man. But I was just like, oh, are you kidding me? They deemed it as a piece of farm equipment. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, you should go to Whitetail Legacy and you look at it. They did a whole bunch of stuff on building it, and they did it up right. You know, it's got a full walk door. It's got legitimate windows all the way around it. I mean, there's no chance in hell that anybody from the Midwest or from farming country would think that this is a piece of farm equipment. It has a roof.
I wonder if it's just because it's mechanized running gear. I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyway, but so go ahead. That was the prelude to our Huntroversy here, and you can explain what it is going to be.
The topic is pretty interesting too. Mike said, "Hey, let's do one about staying in your lane as an outdoorsman." So that's what we're calling this: staying in your lane, good or bad for hunting. So I don't want to give away too many of his ideas, so we're going to call him and get him on the horn.
Hello.
You there?
I'm here, man. How you doing?
All right, we got you loud and clear, buddy. How are you today?
Doing good, man. Just sitting on the back porch enjoying a nice, feels like summer day. How about yourself?
Well, we're sitting in an air-conditioned garage enjoying not being out in the humidity. It's like 80 degrees out in Illinois right now and really swampy. So we've had rain all week, and it's just thick outside. So we're staying in here and trying to avoid breaking a sweat again.
There you go. I hear you, man. Yeah, it's almost 90 here, and just got done. We just filmed a bow build video in my garage that's not climate controlled, and I'm about tuckered out.
Ooh. So it looks like you were on the lake the other day, bud. You having a little fun?
Oh, yeah. We were out there yesterday, man, getting after it for about 10 hours.
God, that's a long day of being on the water.
It looked like it was a big lake, too. That was no pond you were on, my friend.
Oh, no, man. It's a big old lake, Percy Priest Lake. It's just northeast of Nashville, about 20 minutes, and it's definitely a party lake, man. It was a good time for sure.
Well, I can tell you this much. Grant and I are here having a couple cold snacks. I hope you are too. And before we get any further, why don't you explain to the listeners what we're talking about today? We've told them the title, but that's it. So take it away.
All right, man. So, so it's been almost a trend. I mean, it's been going on a while, but, you know, you see people, especially on social media with how social media is nowadays. And, you know, you got people making a living off of it, and people see that. I mean, that's what those platforms are used for. You know, they're to see, you know, things that you enjoy and see these creators and all that. And I feel like it's starting to push the wrong message to a lot of younger, well, not even younger people, just people that are interested in the same things that they search for online or, you know, watch on YouTube, watch on TV. And it's kind of getting away from the principle now. People, I mean, you know, on the hunting side, you know, back when we were kids, what we used to watch? We used to watch Monster Bucks, Primetime Bucks, you know, all those VHS tapes. You remember that?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
And, I mean, guys that are just ate up with it like we are, you know, that's where it started, and that's where we got that drive and that motivation to one day do it ourselves. Well, now, you know, with everybody's phone having a video camera on it, or now it's not so hard like when we were kids to go out and get a camera. People are seeing something, they're like, oh man, you know, that's getting a lot of views, let's go do that. Even though we have no idea what we're doing, let's go do that. So then they do it, and then they push it out, and, you know, guys that have an idea of what's going on or how something's supposed to look get their eye on it, and it's just completely wrong information. But it's going back to being able just to grab a camera or grab a phone because you see something and it looks cool or it gets a lot of views, and then push it out as your own product and just doing it completely wrong. So going back on, that post I put out the other day on Instagram saying, just be yourself, be who you are. Everybody's their own person. Everybody has a niche to them that they're good at, or they're good at something. Stay in that lane. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I agree with you tenfold that today more now so than ever that you have too many people that are not chasing a dream, that they're chasing stardom or they're chasing numbers of likes. And
Yep.
I get it. I do. I understand that, you do want to grow and you want to be as big as you can be, but you have to get there by being yourself. I mean, you look at some of the icons just in our little small industry. We'll use like Catching Deers for an example. That guy's hilarious, and he did that by being himself. I'm sure he's high energy and goofy. Never shared hunting cap with him or a duck blind with him or anything like that. But now I have seen people trying to be spoofy like him. And it's like, dude, somebody's already done it and owned it. Get creative.
Yeah.
I totally get where you're coming from.
And it's not even like, oh man, guys are trying to come into this industry. No, I love seeing young people, old people, it doesn't matter, coming out and doing their own thing, having their own twist on something, a different angle at something that maybe has already been done, but it's who they are. And it's not bashing anybody particular, but it's just like you said, man, like we've seen that. Like I know that is not who you are, and that is, you do not do these things, but you're behind a lens and now you're acting this way. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yep. And what do you have to say about it, Grant?
I think that there are, at the end of the day, I think that there are smaller number of options for what we're actually doing. If we just look at the hunting industry, for example, I mean, everybody out there, 90% of hunting videos, just by virtue of what the game is, how easily it can be hunted, and where it can be hunted in 40-ish states out of 50, most people are out there trying to shoot a whitetail hunting television show. And there's only so many ways to kill a whitetail, right? With bow, with gun, with rifle, something of that nature. And I feel like you're inevitably going to run into things that are kind of like what we're talking about here, where there's somebody that puts something out and they're the originator of that space, like we talked about, like the hunting deers guy, like Mark Kenyon, first one to create like a whitetail hunting podcast. You talk about like the Druries, some of the first people to ever pioneer like videotaping, filming hunts and stuff like that. So it's kind of a gray area, I think when you zoom in and you kind of take an examination of the specific act that someone's doing, like when it's in our niche, that's the outdoors. But then when you zoom in again into deer hunting and you keep zooming, I think there's professionals in lots of different regards in deer hunting. There's lots of different ways to kill a white-tailed deer, lots of different places, lots of different states, etc. But I feel like what I think, and I have a problem with, Mike, and sometimes I feel a little bit weird giving people my own advice, is just kind of what we were talking about the other day when you brought this up, Mike, was at what point is a person an expert at something to the degree that they can give another person advice in hunting,
Yep.
So that's kind of my take on it. I kind of keep social media at arm's length and kind of like to lay in the weeds and see what everybody's doing. I don't get too caught up in anything that goes on there, just because I kind of like to echo your point on your post. I think that lots of social media is just kind of, it's not an accurate portrayal of a person's knowledge or their actual life that they live outside of their social media platform. So I don't put a whole lot of stock into it, but I can understand how it's frustrating as hell, though.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you just hit it, man. Like you can't sit there and look in other people's lives all day at all the great stuff they're doing, or they got this, they got that. It would drive you absolutely crazy. And that's what I mean. A lot of it is that, where people are putting up flashy stuff and all that, and I mean that's cool. But if you would, invest so much of your life and your time into that, then where are you going? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. I mean it is what it is. But it's social media. I mean, I've talked to people in the past. I've gone to archery shoots or archery shops, and somebody tries to tell me something, and I know, that's not right just from doing what I've done for so long. Or what really got this going for me is I think I told both of you guys this, is I saw a guy doing a hinge cutting video, which was cool. I was interested, so I clicked on it, and this guy's like, all right, I got this timber here. I'm going to go through and hinge cut it for a bedding area. And I was like, all right. So I start watching it, and this dude's explaining what he's doing as he's going along. And this dude probably cut down 85 trees. I'm not saying hinge cut them. He cut them down and was like, this is going to be a great bedding area in the fall, which it very well could be. But that's not hinge cutting. You know what I mean?
Correct. No, that is
by definition not hinging.
No, there's no hinge to it when it's laying on the ground.
Right.
So that was one thing. And you see it all the time. And, I feel almost as if, like I said earlier, man, these guys going out with cameras and, having a story and all that and wanting to do something, but they don't do their homework.
Right.
Which I have no problem with anybody going out and doing anything. Like, it's cool. I'll sit there and watch anything, until I can't watch it anymore. But, they get the camera in their hand, they try to act like somebody they're not, or do something they haven't done, and then trying to push it out. Kind of like what you said, Grant, about, how much do I need to know about something to be able to tell you guys about it or teach you guys how to do it?
Well, I think with knowledge comes great power, and that's even more amplified when you have a platform like social media, and if you have any type of size to it.
Right.
In your case, Mike, I totally agree that the problem there is that the guy probably wasn't putting up that video with any type of malintentions. He,
right,
just like you said, he's like, other people are doing this, other people see value in this, I want to jump on, right?
Yep.
And just he's probably, if he's doing that to a property, he's an avid outdoorsman, and good for him. But boy, the problem is where a guy like you that's smart enough to be like, dude, I know what you're trying to do here, but you're wrong. There's not near as many of those people who are like, oh, whoa, look at this. And then they go and do the same thing. And unfortunately, I don't think that they're going to have the betting results that they had hoped for.
Yeah, no.
To answer the questions,
it almost comes off like, I don't want to come off as being douchey or being that guy that's like, oh, he's doing this wrong, to hell with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm not that guy. I've taught people how to do things. I've learned a lot from other people. Like, I love learning, and I love passing on what I know to other people.
Yep, and I think that's true. Look at your bow build videos. By the way, if nobody's ever watched them, Mike is one hell of a bow technician. He can put together anything, work on anything.
Oh yeah,
I would say that's one of your many feathers in your hats, Mike. You are a very, very well-rounded bow technician.
I appreciate it, man. That means a lot.
But I guess to answer the question simply for when can you give advice, they consider mastery, a mastery of a skill is when you've reached 5,000 hours of it. So, and that's if you look it up, that's what they tell you. And then when you quantify that, it's almost like 10 years of 40-hour work weeks, really, when you do the math. So I don't know. I think you can become very, very well versed in it in much less time, especially if it's something you spend a lot of time doing and are successful. But unfortunately, if you put out a video, and we've talked about this before, if you tell enough people that you're good, people will believe you. Where the truth lies is that if you're as good as you think you are, you don't have to tell anyone.
Right.
So.
Yep. It's all seen by actions and confirmed by actions.
So I've got an interesting pet peeve and interesting spin on this one. So I used to follow a person, and I followed him for this guy for about 3 years. And I think that the statement that you just made, Garrett, about, if you're good enough at something, you don't need to beat your chest about being good at it. I follow this guy, and prides himself on being a hard worker, right? According to all the people that follow him, did this. He details everything out on his Facebook, Instagram story, whatever. And he's always talking about, how hard he's working. But then occasionally he will post something about exactly what we're talking about here. If you work hard enough, then you don't need to tell people. To which I'm thinking in my brain, well, then why on earth are you telling me about hard work equals results every day? It wouldn't be so, like, I follow Michael Hunzucker, like, so do you, and this is a good example. Like, Michael Hunzucker, one of the best whitetail hunters in the country, I think, and he doesn't have to go on there and beat his chest and talk about how hard he's working every day to kill whitetails. He shows what he's doing, and that's the end of it. And those of his followers and those people that care about what he's doing can see to a point like, all right, this guy is working hard at this, but he doesn't need to tell me. Like, I don't need to be told that Michael Hunzucker is working hard to kill whitetails.
Right.
I can view it. I can observe it.
Right.
And so this guy that I followed, I unfollowed him since I was just like, every time I would look at his story or whatever, I would just be like, man, I'm just sick of this shit. Like, I'm sick of you gaslighting your following by saying, you know, I'm this hard worker, but fuck everybody because I'm gonna work harder than you and blah 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 blah. Like, okay, that's cool, man, but you don't need to actually tell me about this. I can observe this going on for myself. You don't have to say that, because now you're just trying to manipulate the people that are following you. Like, what do you want?
That one guy we've always worked with, he's looking for that promotion. He's like, spotlighting himself. I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, but the promotion never comes. Why is that?
Exactly.
Yep.
It's that dude, man. Like, he's got to tell you every time, well, I did this, I did that. Why am I stopped in this position right now? Because you're really not doing it, and you're just flapping your damn gums, buddy.
Oh yeah, and so to amplify it, like within the outdoor world, I think that you can grow as a group, as an individual, as a brand, and you can develop into something. But I think it's got to be done, the right way. I don't think that you can just have a coming out party that now all of a sudden you are the best hunter, through, because you got to be, like, for us, if we were to start going out west every single year and go hunting, just because I've killed an elk, I am far from any type of well-rounded elk hunter. Mm-hmm. You got to earn your stripes and earn your bars to be able to get there. But to Mike's point, it's so easy to, and we want it, right? All three of us want it. I wish that each one of us had a platform where we had 100,000 diehard followers, right? It would change our lives. I'm not going to lie, but you got to earn it, and it's hard not to want it. And I think that people that really want it are going to brainstorm, okay, what can I do to grab more attention? What can I do to get more exposure? That's the game of the game, but you got to do it by putting out the right information. I think that's what you're trying to get across, Mike, is just
absolutely.
You got to grow your presence by being true.
Yeah. For sure. And, going back to you saying, that would be amazing. All of us have all these followers, is that what we do it for? Absolutely not. We're doing it because we know how to do something, or we like to do something for us three and all of our buddies, that's hunting whitetails, bow hunting whitetails. And that's what we like to do. And when the followers come, they come. If you're putting out a good content, you got a good structure, then people are gonna, they're gonna admire that, and they're gonna follow your journey. But at the end of the day, to me, I'm doing what I've done all the time. I just have a camera with me, or I take pictures of this, and a lot of my stuff isn't, like, I don't have very high quality stuff, but the people that do follow me for the right reasons, or they do see, my bow builds, or just a picture I've taken, or a trail cam picture off one of my properties, like, that's awesome, man. Like, those are the kind of people I want to be around, people that are learning from me, and I guarantee I can learn something from them.
I totally agree. So I got to ask Mike, what triggered this the other day?
You said about the
hinge cutting guy.
No, that's definitely not just it. You'll see. I've seen a couple guys or a couple groups of guys that they're out there filming whitetail hunts and stuff, and that's awesome, man. Like, I can't say this enough, to where I love seeing people get into it for the right reasons. But then there's other people dipping into different realms of what they're used to doing for that fact of getting followers or having subscribers or trying to make a living off of something they don't know anything about.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And I'm perfect.
That's one of the biggest things. Like, guys, Like you see guys, I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos lately because I haven't been going to work because I don't have a job right now until I move next week. But I've been sitting around watching a lot of YouTube videos, guys turkey hunting, building bows, deer hunting, shed hunting, all this stuff. And you can there's a few channels out there. I'm not going to throw anybody's name out there, but there's a few channels and a few pages out there. These guys that keep doing stuff, and they're pushing out the information like they know exactly what they're talking about. They've done it. It's tried and true. This is how it works. This is how you do something. And it is not just for my opinion, but you could look at that and be like, that is not how you do that, or that is not right. That information is completely incorrect.
Yeah. First year experts is what you're saying. This is the first time I've done it, and this is the best way to do it. Yeah.
And yeah, for sure.
Huh.
And I did, like, when I wrote that and I put it out, I'm like, dude, you sound so douchey right now. Like, that's not usually you. But when does it come? How long does it need to go before it gets out there, before it gets on a podcast or people listen to it? Like, oh man, actually, I did this video on this, or I posted about this, and I have no freaking idea what I'm doing. Maybe I should not do that. Or, just how long is it going to keep going on for people to try to gain a following of people looking at something that they have done, but they really don't know what they're doing,
I just think it's a lack of sense of humility, I mean, just stay humble. And like we've all agreed.
Be humble, man. There it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you beat your chest so hard, I mean, and it works, dude. I've watched people gain success by telling people that they're good. And that'll last for a little while. Yeah. But then they'll be able to see through it, right? I mean, that I guess is a saving grace to this little talk that we're having, is that eventually, where the metal meets the meat and you fail to produce, it's going to catch up to you. It's like you going into a job interview and just totally fluffing the shit out of the guy that's your boss and telling you you've done everything twice and you got these types of numbers or whatever it is. You've done this and that, and then you show up and you're totally garbage.
Trash.
Yeah, your calling card's coming, my friend, and it's going to be out the door. But it's so frustrating, Mike, and I totally agree, especially with guys like yourself. Like, seriously, I consider you an expert archer. Like, dude, you can shoot, you can build a bow, you can get that thing to be timed perfectly on multiple brands. It's not just one. You're very versatile, like way more endowed than I am. And I could see how it'd be just so frustrating to watch somebody give wrong information. And then you're stuck in the paradox, right? Because you don't want to be that keyboard warrior where you automatically just blurt out there like false info in capital letters, like, do not follow this. But then you also know that if you go and send the guy a direct message and be like, hey man, I want to send you a private message. I think the information you're putting out is wrong. You might want to consider about taking it down. Now he's automatically going to take offense to it because he thinks that you're raining down on his parade. You're stuck in a spot where you really can't win, as somebody from the outside.
For sure.
So,
because everybody nowadays, man, it's their way or the highway, bro.
Oh, I know it, and everybody's done it better than you, no matter what. Anyway, yeah, so it's like why am I even trying to help you? You already got it all figured out.
Yep, dude, that keyboard, man, that saves a lot of people. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yes.
But it is what it is. It's the world we live in. Only thing you can do is adapt and overcome and keep pushing forward. Forward progress. That's it.
So, to shift gears and kind of get down the rabbit hole of this, Mike, at what point do you think it's acceptable? I mean, at what point will you and I talked about this a little bit, I think that depending on your level of skill at doing a particular thing, you could be an air quote expert to another person. The example that we're talking about when I was in my truck driving home today was, to a person that has never planted a food plot before, Garrett and I, who have been doing it for about, just under a decade and a half at 14 years, that this will be our 14th year of planting food plots, or trying to plant food plots, right? We've learned a shitload. To somebody that has never planted one before, we would be considered somebody that has valuable knowledge to be gained. Mm-hmm. But Garrett and I are not going to go and be short-sighted to the point where we are lecturing the Drurys who have been doing it for 4 decades or better on food plotting, So I think it kind of depends on your level of expertise at something and the level of expertise at the person seeking out the knowledge on how much that advice and how much that thing can take hold with them. But what do you think across the board is an acceptable jumping off point to where you're like, all right, this guy has done it, so let's talk about whitetail hunting first. When will you take whitetail hunting advice for somebody? Because I'm just interested to know that. How many big deer do you think a person has to kill, mature deer, until Mike Lemansky is like, all right, this dude's done it, let's hear what you have to say, kind of thing?
Yeah. So I think going on the point of teaching and taking in knowledge from somebody is, if I'm telling you guys how to work on a bow, I'm going to tell you everything I know, nothing past what I'm not going to lead you into territory I've never been. So I'm not going to portray that I know, oh yeah, I know how to do this, this, and this. I've never done it myself, but I'm going to tell you how to do it, and then you go in that land and figure out what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not. Yeah. It's like in the Army. One of our biggest thing is I'm not going to tell you to do something that I already haven't done. I'm not going to tell you to go in this door or go, up here or put yourself in this scenario that I've never been at before. And that's kind of where I draw the line in the sand. Is I'm not going to take information from people if they haven't been there, and I'm not going to give information if I haven't been there myself.
I think that's one of the best answers you could have given, Mike.
Yeah,
I'm serious. I'm serious because I do feel that there is a sense of knowledge, and you do get knowledge, right? You gain some type of power, some type of wisdom, and I'm not going to say experience, but when you watch a video, you do learn to a degree. But if you've never done it, just because you watch 100 videos on how to shoot long range doesn't mean that you're good at shooting long range. It means you're good at watching YouTube, Right. Like, don't give me advice at something you've never done. And I think that's the caveat right there. You found it, Mike, is that there's so much information floating around out there, and it's accessible to anyone. If you have the ability to educate yourself with any genre of anything, but if you haven't done it, if you have not proven that you understand that, don't dare give advice. I think that's the big thing. And just like you said, I'm not going to take advice from somebody who hasn't done it. I'm not going to give advice that I haven't done. And if you stay within those two thought processes, I don't think you'll step outside of the box.
You won't, and you will not put yourself in a situation where somebody's going to ask for more advice and you give them more information, because that's where you again, draw the line in the sand. This is where I've gone. This is what I've done. I'm going to show you how I did it, how it worked for me. And can you go outside of those boundaries? Absolutely. This could have worked for this guy, but I'm going to take it a step further. That's on your own accord. That's not me telling you to do that.
Yep.
So absolutely, man. And going back, like shooting, like you can watch 1,000 videos on shooting, archery, long range marksmanship, short range marksmanship, whatever you want to find on the internet, online, on YouTube, and you can watch all those. But until you get out there, you feel. We'll take long range shooting for instance. You feel the stock in your in the cup of your shoulder. You feel your face on the stock. You feel, you see. The only way you're going to get better at doing something to push knowledge out to somebody else is doing it yourself.
So let me push you guys on this one a little bit here, because there's a pretty big gray area when it comes to whitetail hunting, and this is one of the things that I observe on social media and things that I consume, kind of like YouTube, like you were saying, Mike, and that is, let's say somebody has a buck under their belt. Technically, by the answers that you guys just gave, they are apt to tell how it went down, and they have done it. If you kill a buck, you have done that, and let's say, for instance, you roll a video out showing and laying out how you killed the deer, etc. At what point do you think that people are trying to oversell that one experience as years worth of knowledge? Because that's what I see happen quite a bit in the outdoor industry, and I just think it's a byproduct of people that are saying that, hey, we watched the Last Breath video or something like that. We watched a Lee and Tiff's video, and now I want to go do that. I want to do my own deer hunting web show, right? And so you and your buddies get a bunch of cameras together and you start your own show. I mean, eventually we have to acknowledge the fact that everybody's got to start somewhere. And
Right.
like our season 1, you know, were we those guys saying, "Hey, do this, blah 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 blah." I don't think we rarely say, "Hey, this is the way that you should do it," because of the way our content is. It's more so a story rather than less informational, in my opinion, the way we do it. But what do you guys think about that? If somebody goes and kills a deer this fall and tries to give you advice or something in February after deer season gets wrapped up, are you going to take that or not?
That goes. So
Go ahead,
I
Mike.
went on a little tangent about long range marksmanship and go back to whitetail. So, all right. So guy shoots a big deer, kind of rolls it out. Have you guys watched the Real Tree Spring Thunder with Philip Culpepper? Have you ever watched any of those?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So
Yep.
Philip, extremely successful, amazing turkey hunter. Every time after they kill a turkey on there, they go into a segment of why he did what he did. Have you seen that?
Yep.
And Philip Culpepper lays it out there that this is what we did, this is what the bird did, this is why we did this, and this is how we killed him. So if I just shot a giant deer and cameras are rolling and I'm telling you guys how I killed this deer, I will never once say you have to do this and you will kill a big deer, or if you don't do it like this, it will not work. Because I'm not teaching you at that point. I'm telling you, I'm pushing something on you. When I just killed my first big buck, I'm telling you guys, if you don't do this, you're not going to kill a big deer. And that's where it crosses the line for me, is that maybe that did have a factor of him killing that deer, but he's telling me if I don't do this specific thing, I will not kill a big buck. And that's false information.
I agree. I think there's a lot in how you deliver the message. So just like the Spring Thunder, that we were talking about, when he goes and does those recaps, he just says, "This is what I did." He's not telling you this is how you should have killed this turkey. I mean,
Correct.
I think if you can absorb that information and process the message they're trying to give, like what the message should be is, I did X, which yielded Y and led to my success. And as long as you can kind of see that and appreciate it, that's fine with me. So to answer your question, Grant, if somebody kills a big deer, their first mature deer, right, and then they start to tell the story, I'm intrigued, right? Because now it's your first one. You did something right. What did you do? What's your message? Because if you start off going, well, I knew this big buck was in here and that's it, and you don't follow up with, like, I knew he was in here because I had trail camera data of him. I watched him from the road. If you don't add context to your means of expertise, well, then you've lost me, man. Because if it's all just based on hunch and solely just to pump up your chest and for glory, you can twist the story any way you want. But I think as long as you lay it out there in a foundation format, and it's a way that you can see clearly, okay, you've got a rubric of events that happened that led to your success, I'm all ears, because there's tons of different methods. I think, and that's the great thing about hunting and whitetail hunting especially. There's so many different segments of it, because the way that even like Mike hunts down south is going to be different than he hunts up here in Illinois. Mike's more experienced than us because he bounces around a ton. Or if somebody that hunts public land is going to hunt differently than the way that we hunt our farms. Where I have issues, and to get back to Mike's point, is where you have guys cross over lanes and they don't come out and say it like, hey, this is uncharted territory for me, but we're going to give it a go. Like I would never. Go ahead.
What's the method you're madness?
Yeah. If we went out on a spot and stalk mule deer hunt, we're going to come out and say, like, we've never done this unguided. We're just going to go off everything we've done and see if it works. And then if it does work and we're too successful, we're going to be like, holy shit, this is actually what happened. Mm-hmm. We're not going to start the hunt and just be like, well, we're going out here, we're going to kill something, and this is what we're going to do. Like, you can't have too much cock in your walk. You got to walk that line of humility.
Yep. Everybody, like I said, man, everybody has something to them. They know. Everybody is well, this is going to come out weird.
Just
Trying
say
to make
it.
it not come out weird. So everybody has something about them that they do very, very well. And when, like in our tight group, or even like, you guys and Homie and Cody from the Whitetail Legacy podcast, if we all put our good ideas together, we can come up with a great idea. But not one of us is versed, to the point to where we can't give information on something and not be successful. You know what I mean? It's not like, I know, Grant, you got a itch to go caribou hunting so bad. I know we've talked about it in the past.
Oh, God, yes.
Me and you have talked about going to Alaska, where I've caribou hunted a few times in the past and been successful on my own. But I will never be like, Grant, we're going caribou hunting. We're flying in here. We're going to walk up this mountain. We're going to do it 100% this way because this is the way we're going to do it. We're going to be successful. I'm never going to tell you that. I guarantee you we will kill a bull if we go right here. I will tell you, this is what I did, or I know this guy that lives here and he's done this his entire life, and we're going to go either listen to him or we're going to do what I did, and then we're going to kind of, maneuver, go outside our scope and try to figure out how to get this done if that doesn't work.
That's a good response. I like that.
But, Grant, we're going to go caribou hunting in like the next 5 years, all right?
Amen.
I'm hoping so.
We're doing it.
That has got to be a thing. That has got to be a thing.
I've got 5 or 6 buddies that are bush pilots in Alaska that will take us where the bulls are. We just got to get there.
All right.
I looked it up to Anchorage. It's literally like 2.5 days of driving. That's like 60 hours.
That's
Bro,
a lot.
I drove from 20 miles north of Wasilla, Alaska, 20 miles north of Anchorage, Alaska. I lived up near Wasilla, Eagle River. It's about 20 miles north of there, and I drove to Dead Horse, Alaska. If you look at that on the map, it's one of the most northern tips of Alaska. And it took me, this is driving in the same state, it took me and my buddy 33 and a half hours to get there.
You lived in Alaska, Mike?
Yeah, I lived in Alaska for almost 3 years, man.
Holy shit.
I was stationed
All-American
there.
badass.
On paper, I lived there like 3 years.
On paper.
I had a little trip across the pond to Afghanistan. At that time, that was about 11 months. But the rest of the time, I lived there, man. And yeah.
Jesus.
I got to take advantage of all the places I've lived, man. I got to, go out there and bear hunt in Alaska, caribou hunt in Alaska, salmon fish, do it all, man.
Oh, how many states have you lived in? Do you know that?
Yeah. So, grew up in Michigan. Me and my wife moved to Virginia, moved back to Michigan, then moved back to Virginia, Alaska, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, back to Tennessee. Now we're moving to North Carolina next week, and we'll be back in Tennessee in about a year and a half.
Holy.
And I lived in South Carolina as well.
Eight different states.
8 different states, but like 14 different moves.
Oh yeah, dude. So my daughter Bailey, she's 10 years old. This will be her 8th move, and she's 10 years old.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, I'm sick of it, man. We're getting toward. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, though. So we'll go to North Carolina, like I said, for about a year and a half, to move back to where I'm at now. And I'm putting the roots down here, man. I'm done moving these kids.
Well, if you want to move just a little bit further north, there's some really nice country in Illinois or Iowa.
Oh.
Oh,
we got the checkbook open, man. We've been looking.
Well, we can start our compound. We'll just all go in on a full section, and we'll just put a house up on each corner.
Dude, I'm all about it. And if we don't live there and I don't have a place that my mail comes there, I will own a place in Illinois in the next 10 years.
You heard it here first. Mike Lemansky is a man of his word.
I will own ground in Illinois in the next 10 years.
Well,
so we're coming back here. We're going to move back. We're renting out our house here. We're going to move back into it, and then we're going to build about 20 minutes from here, trying to get some ground to build on. And my mom and dad are actually, they're sick of being this far away from the kids as well, so they're thinking about moving down here too. And me and dad are going to buy us a good little chunk. So you got a place to come turkey hunt and shed hunt and deer hunt in Tennessee as well.
Well, you know that our house is your house up here, buddy. I'll tell you this much: if you buy some ground in Illinois, you're going to make this place a better state.
That just touched my heart, bud.
Oh, well. Anyway, back. What's up?
I see you're such a sweetheart.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to deal with Pritzker, just so you know.
That's all right.
Well, the way that Mike handles things, who knows
guess
what
what?
could happen.
I'll just jump down the road and go back to Tennessee when he starts speaking stupid stuff.
Yeah, no shit. Any other questions you got on this board for him?
Yeah, I have. When is it acceptable for somebody to leave their lane? I'll give you an example. I was thinking about this since you brought this up, and I was thinking about, all right, Hawk. They sent Garrett and I a saddle, one of the brand new saddles that they're launching, and I think based on our conversation, what you're going to say is okay. What was okay about what we did about this is because we noted a lot during the video what we were doing in the context of what we were doing. So we made that little video a couple months back at the very end of deer season. Garrett and I went to an edge feather hole that we knew on a late season food source there was going to be deer filtering out. I went and got in a couple trees behind him about 15 yards away. He got up the tree with the saddle, and he killed his first deer out of a saddle. And we made a little video about us setting up the saddle, practicing for a bit, and then going out and getting it done. But we noted multiple times in the video, like, we're not experts at this. This is our first time out. This is all very new to us. We didn't try to, sugarcoat the fact that it was our first time by masking it and saying, we've been doing this for years, blah, 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 blah. And so that would be my example about an acceptable time to go outside of your lane, is kind of getting back to what we're talking about. If you're noting that I am novice at this, I am, fairly green at whatever this activity is, that would be an acceptable time. But what do you think other than that you'd like to add on, Mike? What is an okay thing for someone to do to get outside of their lane in the hunting industry?
Yeah, so your caveat was that part right at the end there. We did this. We were successful at this. This is how we did it. Mind you, we don't saddle hunt all the time. This is kind of our first time kind of digging in the saddle. This was our first successful hunt out of a saddle. But this is what worked for us. You know what I mean? It goes back, like, some people are very good at talking. I'm definitely not one of those people. I can't convince you that the sky's purple when it's blue. But there are those people out there that have barely dug into something that could tell you that the sky is purple. And I'd be like, dude, this dude's legit, man. I believe him. I believe any word he says to me. So you need staying in your lane. Just, whatever that you do. Like for me, I'm bows. Not to be a dick here, but if you tried to tell me this is how you time a QAD rest, or this is how you time a cam on this bow, do it this way, I probably wouldn't listen to you. So it goes both ways, as in, what are you taking from that person? What do you think's actual fact, and what do you think's bullshit? And they can sit there and talk all they want, but how much of it are you tuning into? So going back to staying in your lane is talk about what you know, what you've done, the ground you've been to, how the boundaries you've gone to with whatever it is that you're talking about, and stay in that realm. There is no good time for you to step out of your lane if you're not comfortable, getting your hands on it, getting your hands dirty in that subject or whatever it is that we're talking about. So don't tell me to go do this when you haven't been there and you really don't know, what that's like.
Right. It just goes back to the same principle we've been talking about. I mean, it's just, I think it's stay humble and just be open. I think that there's growth with change and with challenge. I mean, and I'm a huge advocate of trying new things and doing new things. But I think the whole encompassing idea of this Huntroversy here is just don't beat your chest like you're an expert when you're not. And like I said earlier, when you're as good as you think you are, you don't have to tell people because they already know. So I think, Duran, I mean, when you want to dabble in something new, anything, and you want to put it out there, you just as we just stated, that was a lot of just, you got to put it in context. This is my first time. I've not done this a lot. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's see if this works, kind of thing. You have to kind of lay that groundwork to where you're letting people know, I'm not telling you I'm an expert, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing here because it's new to me, and maybe you want to try it. Maybe you can learn something through me messing up, through me putting out this video of a first time XYZ. And I as a consumer of knowledge, I appreciate those videos. So
Go straight to the horse's mouth for information as well. If you feel like you're getting into a territory you ain't ever been there, ask somebody that's been there. Don't put out a video on it and wait to get hated on it, or put some out on Instagram. Reach out to those people. Like, I'm about to buy a brand new mirrorless camera. Have I messed with mirrorless cameras very much? Not very much. I've shot a few videos with them, but if I want to get as good as I want to get, and I can't get there on my own, I'm not going to put out a video on YouTube saying, hey, check out these settings. This is what you need to do to make crispy, clear video on a mirrorless camera. No, I'm going to call Grant. I'm going to call Jesse. I'm going to call one of you guys and be like, hey, check it out. I haven't really messed with this. This is what I want to do. Help.
Yep.
That's it.
I think my biggest pet peeve kind of along this tangent of Huntroversy is, and it has a lot to do with the name, and I guess it is what it is, but it lacks the forethought of somebody who does this. And this is just me being honest. I hate it when you have somebody that brands themselves next to a species. So, like, there are dozens, hundreds of, whitetail blank outdoors, or something archery hunting, or something bow hunting, and then all of a sudden they go out and they kill a turkey with a shotgun, and it's like, what the fuck? Your name literally says like bow hunting whitetails in it. Like, that's what you guys are supposed to be good at, and I'm glad you are good at it. But I don't know. It's just a little bit of me that just bugs me. It's like, wait, you just put out a turkey hunting video where you shot him with a shotgun, but your Facebook profile says you're whitetail traditional. Yeah. It's like, God damn it, man. Are you serious right now? Like, I don't know. Whatever. That's my thing that just bugs me more than anything. If you're gonna try to own that niche, like if
own it, dude.
So I'm gonna throw a name, and I don't care. Like the Team 200 that's out there. There was a show out there called Team 200.
Still exists.
Cool idea. But if you shoot a deer that's 197 inches or smaller, I've got a problem with it. Like, come on, man. It's literally in your name. If I watch anything less than an absolute mega fucking giant die, I'm disappointed right now. You literally,
like Real Trees Monster Bucks, 120-inch deer from somewhere. And we're like, oh, that's not necessarily my definition.
But monster is like, that's at least you can. Everybody's got their own definition of monster. Number's a number. Like, you put 200 in there, like, come on now.
It better be giant.
It better be, like, I'll give you like a 3-inch delta of error that you misjudged him on the hoof. But I mean, there's a severe difference between a 170-inch deer and a 200-inch deer. Like,
let me see you hit equals, and that's say 197.
Yeah. Gosh. So
no, I get what you're saying. And I mean, that goes a little bit to it too, man, of kind of my thought on it. But if you're out there, you're putting out good stuff, good information, and the quality of video. I mean, I'm not trying to, get down, or not get down, but brown nose or whatever. And you guys, the Last Breath content is what I think is probably in the top 3 on any digital platform right now when it comes to your guys' content, your guys' angles, your clarity, all that stuff that I like to see. There's not many people that can compete with you guys. Quality of footage, I mean, unless it's from some shaky ass Tacticam that's 25 years old, or some camera that just, I don't care about that. But if you're putting out a message, stay true, stay in the lane of the message that you're putting out.
Hell yeah, man. Well, we appreciate that, dude.
You guys are, your photography and cinematography to me is just, it's amazing, dude. And Grant, what you do, behind the camera and behind the computer when you're putting it all together is freaking unreal. And I don't think it gets near enough the attention that it definitely deserves for what you guys put into it.
Well, we're trying, man.
We're working on that.
That's right.
We're killing it.
So, what are the shooter pass questions you got for Mr. Michael?
Ooh, this is a good one. Okay.
Can I throw in a caveat real quick?
Yeah.
Don't bring up the deer that I chased all of November, actually all season. Just don't bring him up because I'm heartbroken over that deer.
He's not on here. Don't worry.
Thank God.
Okay. You guys are both in Kentucky. It is your first day of a velvet whitetail hunt in Illinois. Obviously, for Garrett and I, we won't ever kill a velvet buck unless something very, very the stars align, and for some weird reason we've got one still holding velvet in October. But for all intents and purposes, we'll never had a chance to kill one in our home state. That is. So you're in Kentucky, 5-day bow hunt, and a 139-inch velvet 8-pointer steps out on your first day. Shoot or pass, Mike?
Is there anything else to the story? Like, do we have trail cam pictures of any other deer?
Yeah, there's trail camera pictures of other deer, but you're there for only 5 days, and he's right under that 140 mark as an 8, but he's in velvet. So shoot or pass?
I've killed 130-inch 8s. I've killed 140-inch 8s, and to get that much bone as a strict 8-point, that's a good deer. We're gonna let it rip.
Garrett?
I haven't killed a velvet deer, so he's done.
I'm with you, Mike. I'm shooting that sumbitch.
Yep.
Okay, the first axis buck you see on a bow hunt on the island of Hawaii. You're there with your family, and you have 3 days. You're sneaking out on a weekend to go bow hunting. The first axis buck you see, shoot or pass, Mike?
Shoot.
Garrett?
I'm shooting too. I mean, I'm pretty sure you get 2 tags, but I don't know.
You do. That's why I said the first buck.
Yep.
You do. You do. But hunting, I know some buddies that have hunted axis deer and hogs in Hawaii, and it is very, very, very challenging.
Really?
I bet.
Yeah, there's nothing to hide behind, man. Especially when you get up in the mountains, it's just
and those
rolling grass,
herds are
man.
enormous. Like the axis deer is a problem in Hawaii. The numbers are so large that they're like legitimately out of control. I mean, we have trouble sneaking up on a pack of mule deer where there's 20 or 30 different deer. Now imagine a herd of 600 axis deer looking at you as you're crawling over the hill.
No cover to get behind.
Yeah, that would be pretty tricky. Okay, this is the next one. I think this is my favorite one that I have here. A deer someone else has shot. So, Mike, you've hunted Illinois. Let's say that it's first gun season in Illinois, and you've got World War III going on around. There's lots of shots coming from everywhere, as there normally is. And a deer comes onto your property and beds down. Like, let's say you cut a blood trail, right? We get one of those rare November snows during first gun season. You see a blood trail, and then you can see a deer that's bedding down in there. And let's say it's a buck. It's not a doe, and it's a nice buck. What do? You can see that it came from the fence line, and it's crossed over. You can see that the deer is hurt. It's bedded down. It's wounded. It's, you've cut the blood trail. It's obviously been hit. Do you shoot? Do you call a friend and have them finish it off? Do you call the landowner, try to get in touch with them, to the people that were hunting over there, and try to get them their deer? And at what point do you shoot that deer? Because let's say it's like, not like a 130, 140, but let's say it's like a 170, 180. Would you shoot or pass that deer? And he's wounded.
This goes into the ethics and morals of a hunter, man. Depends on what the reasons are you're doing it for. Like, for me, it's my life. It's what I do. I love deer. Like, I absolutely love deer. I love everything about deer, and there's no way I could walk past that deer that's sitting there suffering. If he's bedded down, gut shot in the ass, whatever, I'm not going to let that deer sit there and suffer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kill him. And then I'm going to go to the neighbors and see if this was a deer one of them killed. And if it is, and the guy's like, well, you killed him, you finished him off, I'm not tagging him, I will have zero problems with tagging that deer for him.
Right. I was right along the same tune of what you were saying. I think the first process in my mind is going to be, is the shot lethal or less than lethal? And then, obviously it's going to be a less than ideal shot if the deer's traveled that far. So like what Mike was saying, he's shot in the hams, he's shot in the paunch, he's shot in the gut. You have, I think you have some responsibility as an outdoorsman to take them as cleanly as you can. And then lastly there, Mike Mike being the morally stout man that he is, you can try to go and approach the neighbors and say, hey, there's a deer that was shot. He wasn't expired, but I finished him. And then from there, you guys can talk out where the decision's made. I think that is the perfect answer to that. But I think ultimately, I do believe your responsibility would be to shoot him, not to just let him get up and go. Either way, he's wounded, and I think if you can make it happen, you put him down.
Okay, how about a coyote, 8 a.m. on November 9th?
Dead. Fucking sending it. I'm sorry, Mike. I passed you on that one. It's automatic.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one's a little trickier. Mule deer that's 25 inches wide, so pretty freaking wide, but doesn't have any forks. So he looks kind of like a 160s class whitetail, but he's forkless on both sides. Mike, shoot or pass?
How far is he?
Let's say he's 45 yards away.
He's done, man. I haven't killed a mule deer.
I haven't shot anything that wide. I'm shooting him too, man.
Yep.
25 inches wide?
That's stupid. That's like almost a windshield wide. Imagine that coming at you.
Oh.
No, he's dying, dude. He's dead.
All right, fair enough. Well, that kind of brings me to the end of the questions that I have written down for shoot or pass here. So before we get off of that and hang up here, Mike, what do you got going on this coming next month or so for prepping for whitetails down there?
Nothing at all. Zero. So if you guys don't know, I mean, I've been on here before, been on Whitetail Legacy podcast, and I'm in the Army. That's what I've done for over 12 years now. And got to a point to where I wanted to advance my career and do something completely different than what I'm doing now. And I took that opportunity. I went to a selection process, and I got selected for this job. So now I got to go through a qualification course for it. It's going to be freaking brutal, but that's why I'm moving to North Carolina here in a couple of weeks, and I'm actually not going to be able to deer hunt this year.
Gosh.
I might not be able to turkey hunt next year either. So that's what I'm doing. If I was hunting, I'll be getting food plots ready, getting mineral sites going, cameras going from here to Illinois, and getting ready to start seeing some bone pop. I mean, it's already starting to pop right now, but that's what I would be doing. But unfortunately, I won't be. So I won't be putting out any videos. Probably won't have much time on my phone to update Instagram and all that stuff. But when I get back, it'll be the videoing and stuff will be stronger than ever.
Well, I can tell you here, Mike, wholeheartedly that if you get time off anytime during October, November, December, and you get a chance to buzz away from the wife and the kiddos, we'll have a stand for you.
I appreciate it, man. I still got my place in Illinois, though. I'll still throw a couple bucks towards that. I can't lose that.
Well, I know. I'm just telling you, you fly into the Quad City International Airport, you're about 20 minutes from a tree stand. We'll have the shooting lanes groomed. We'll have the tree stand ready, and I'll have a catalog of bucks that I can tell you that, hey, these are in the area.
I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate what you do, dude. I mean, not enough people realize what Mike just said. He's given up over a year of his life for our country, for everyone listening, for Grant and I and our families. I mean, that's what you're doing.
Selfless.
Right. So I'm serious, man. If you got time and you're not going to be chasing the wife around the living room or playing with the kids.
Oh, yeah, it might be full-blown rut in my living room.
Yeah, no shit.
Boy, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Bring some lotion with you.
I appreciate it, though, man. I really do. And, I got some stuff set in place for, I sold almost all my camera equipment. I just sold my drone about an hour ago. And I'm going to revamp, upgrade everything when I get out of there. And
HTO is going to be popping.
Get after it, man,
Yeah.
Well,
so it'll be fun.
Well, Mike, enjoy your porch that you're sitting on here. It sounds like you got a little bit of time before things really get crazy for you. We appreciate you jumping on. Before we let you go, in case anybody's new to the podcast, which we're grabbing new people all the time, where can they find you on your magnificent journey, Mike?
All right. So Instagram, either type in my name, Mike Lemansky, or Harvest Time Outdoors. Comes up on both of those when you type it in the search there. And then on YouTube, Harvest Time Outdoors TV. Been slacking about the last 2 years on putting up videos, but there's a few up there. You can see my journey chasing a gigantic buck in November that never panned out. But, yeah, that's about it, man.
All right, brother. Well, thank you again, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, boys. I appreciate it. You guys have a good afternoon.
No problem. You too, buddy. See ya.
All right. Take care.
Good man.
Very good.
All-American badass. And I mean that wholeheartedly, guys. He's getting ready to do something that a lot of men wouldn't be able to do. I mean, just think about that. Moving alone is one thing, but just, process. He's giving it up.
Yeah,
I mean,
sacrificing
14,
deer season. I mean,
months.
most whitetail hunters alone, I mean, regardless of, the career and things like that, just like if somebody asked me to give up deer hunting for my job, I'd be trying
Changing
to find
careers.
a new job, you know.
But it's
and
it's so much bigger than that. He's
much bigger than
he's
that.
got a whole family.
Yeah.
His parents, his wife, his kids.
Yep.
So there's not
Kudos
many.
to him. Hats off to him. A lot of respect for Mike.
And obviously, you guys can tell Mike does something that's extremely specialized. We'll just finish it at that. And he's not going to boast or brag about it, but he's damn good at what he does. I would never want to get in a scuffle with the man for a lot of different reasons.
He'd kill you. Literally.
Yeah, just I guess plain and simple. What he's doing is it's not going to where he's going to go to North Carolina and sit in an office for 14 months. He's going to be in the shit. It's not going to be rainbows and unicorns. I mean, the guy is giving up his life, putting it on hold for 14 months, and he's going to be doing something that a lot of people couldn't do, period, the end. So can't tell you how much we respect that man. Side note, we'll change it up.
The launch party.
That's what I was going.
So
Tickets are in.
It's on the 23rd of July, Davenport, Iowa, not Illinois, Davenport, Iowa. The Adler Theater is the name of the theater, so start looking at getting that Friday afternoon potentially off if you're driving from a ways away. I know we've got a lot of people coming from out of state stuff to watch that and everything like that. So
to give you an idea, we've already got ticket requests from Tennessee, Michigan, Missouri, Illinois, and Iowa. We got 5 different states, but 3 of them are pretty far away.
Mm-hmm. Tickets printed the other day. How many did we get?
Ticket count doesn't matter. It just matters if you're going to get one. So
that's fair.
If you are not a part of the inner circle, that's where we're going to launch all of our ticket pickup locations first. Tickets will be available around that 14th mark of June. We're establishing all the pickup locations now. I do want you to know there's a limited amount of tickets. If you're listening to this, if you've been to it, you know you want to come again. If you haven't, you won't want to miss it. This year is bigger than ever. Can't stress that enough. And each of these ticket pickup locations are going to have the same amount of tickets. And when they're gone, they're gone. I mean, just simply because, and we've had to fight to do this to where it can be free, because most other theaters and events that are like this are paid tickets. And when you pay for a ticket, you get assigned seats. This is cafeteria style seating. So we were allowed to have 10% more tickets printed than capacity, just because you can't expect to have 100% retainer. Some people's going to lose a ticket, some's going to come up, whatever. Mm-hmm. But just know that when the tickets are gone, we can't just run another 1,000 tickets, because the worst thing that we could do is have 4,000 people show up to a theater that holds 3,000. So just keep that in mind. We've said it before, don't be gluttonous when you grab your tickets. But we're gonna announce it at the Inner Circle first. We're gonna give you guys a 3-day head start on grabbing tickets, and then we're gonna throw it out on blast everywhere else. I don't know. I don't know how else we can't amp this up more than more beer than ever before, way more gear than ever before, a bigger theater. Everything is thought out for our fans. We have more deer that we're going to be on display than ever before. Wayne and Mike over at Tompkins have been just hammering away. They've gotten a ton of mounts done. And if you guys are part of that last year, I know that he has probably reached out to you soon to work out your pickup, your payment, and everything else. But it's coming, and it's going to be here quick, dude. Real quick.
Yep. Two months from today. 2 months from today. Today's the 23rd.
You're right.
2 months exactly.
Damn.
60 days. So we'll be launching the ticket pickup locations. We've got plenty of tickets, so nobody panic. As he was saying, don't be gluttonous with the amount of tickets you're grabbing. But our Uncle Ray, for example, he works at the Grind in Aledo. There are,
he takes about 40 or 50.
Yeah, there are a couple hundred employees, of which there are quite a few of them that deer hunt. So every year he'll take a stack of 40, 50 tickets because he knows he's going to use them all for the people that he works with and their spouses and kids and things like that. So if you are like somebody like our brother-in-law who's in a trade, whether, it's an electrician's trade, a plumber's, etc., if you've got a bunch of deer hunting buddies, don't feel like you can't pick up more tickets than just for yourself. If you've got buddies that will show up, then take a handful of 10 or 20 of them if you can give them out. But don't take a bunch of them if you're not going to.
Right.
So the ticket locations will be pretty convenient for everybody that lives, 30 minutes, a 30-minute radius around the Quad City area. So we'll have one, a couple different locations in the Quad City Metro in the 4 hubs, and then we'll have one south location where Launch Party used to be. We'll have a more northern location, and if you are
to the west towards Iowa City, we'll have a location there.
Yep. And if you're coming from a long ways away, just shoot us a message so that way we can take tickets and pull them aside and hold them for you, because we're going to tabulate how many people have been requesting those and make sure that we have a surplus of tickets for those people that are traveling from far away, because obviously our buddy Pete Gentry, for example, in Louisiana, it is not feasible to ask him to drive to Davenport to pick up a ticket. That would be a 26-hour round trip for him. That would be pretty pointless. So we're just going to hold on to that for him. So it's going to be an awesome night.
I guess with that being said, that's a perfect way to wrap it up. And we'll catch you next time. Don't waste it.